Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to... I think I need to redo my OBS settings over here. Looks like it's set up on the old system, and I think I've even got an old version of OBS. Right, sorry about the messing about. I know, I thought I'll go on my other computer, I thought, because I'm just going to be doing some chat, so we don't need 6 different cameras, we just need a decent setup, which we've got, but then, you know, all hell broke loose as usual. How are you doing, guys? I'm going to do some updates on, you know, what's happening with the site and all that kind of stuff. But right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it in a minute. I'll probably just record a live video separately and put it up. And then that means we can get on with the class right now. I am having some issues with my encoder. It's still overloading, which it really shouldn't be. But we'll see how it goes. Hi Ben, hi Ina. Hello, third person. I am recording it as well, so it may or may not. Oh, video output is low. Why are you low? There's no reason for you to be low. I don't know. I may not be able to do it on this computer. I don't know why. It should be more than capable of streaming to YouTube, but it's not happy. Anyway, I thought what we'd do today was just go over the basics of astrological signs and symbols, and, well, we've done symbols, but the astrological signs, the elements, the quadruplicities, kind of like a recap overview thing. And then hopefully that'll catch everybody up to where we are and we can do a bit more in depth on everything. So, does everybody know there? Hi Miss Maddie. Miss Maddie was a good girl at the vet today, and therefore we had chicken nuggets on the way home. She had 3 chicken nuggets. She had 6 chicken nuggets, she thinks. She actually had 3 broken in half, but you know, she doesn't know any better. So I'm assuming everybody knows their star sign, at the very least, and where to get it. Basically, if you don't know your star sign, you can go on Google and Google your birthday and it will tell you. I'm pretty sure everybody knows their star sign. But when we actually talk about star signs in an astrological aspect, what we're talking about is your sun sign. And what that is where your sun, where the sun was, what sign it was in, what astrological sign it was in at the time you were born. So on the day you were born, there's all these, imagine it like, you know those fairground rides where you have like a wall, like a half a cylinder. Maddie, quiet. Hey, can you stop please? Good. Very good. We're getting better at this. We're getting better. We're getting better. So you've got those half cylinders that spin round really, really fast and you stick to the wall and then the floor drops away. Imagine the earth is flat like the floor of that. And all around it, from where you're sat, you can see this wall. And on the wall are the 12 star signs. And the sun is there. And whatever star sign the sun is in when you were born, That's your sun sign. That's your star sign. So when you say, I'm an Aquarius, I'm a Scorpio, I'm an Aries, whatever, that's what we're talking about. There are, and I don't care what any scientist tells me, for 45 years of my life, Pluto was a damn planet. It's still a planet. There are other planets in the solar system that were in different places at the time of your birth. Now, because it's a 3D system, some of them would have been up here, some of them would have been down there, just like the sun, obviously. The sun goes round like that from where you're looking at it, right? Assume you're facing the direction the sun's going to rise. So the sun's rising there. So that's the sun sign that you're in. Your ascendant is, because obviously the sun could be like down here, or if you're at night, or it could be up there. It could be on the other side of the world if you were born at night. It would be above you if you were born during the day, or it could be behind you if you were in the evening. Whatever planet, whatever sign is on the horizon is your ascendant sign. Exactly. Whatever sign is coming up over the horizon at the time of your birth. So not what sign the sun is in, because the sun could be anywhere. But whatever is coming up over the horizon when you were born. That is your ascendant or rising sign. There are two luminaries. Luminaries meaning lights. One is the sun. What's the other one? I guess. Sorry, I've got a hangnail and it keeps catching on things. I'm trying to get rid of it. The moon, yeah. The moon doesn't give off light, obviously, but it's a light in the sky. Obviously, there are other lights in the sky, like the morning star, Venus, the fire star, Mars, and so on. But as far as we're concerned, luminaries, sun and earth, sun and moon, and planets. There are also various asteroids and outer planets and dwarf planets and etc., but we're a long way from getting into those. I've been studying for 15 years and we haven't got to those yet. So now that they're being reclassified, as some of them are being reclassified as dwarf planets with Pluto, there may be some changes, but, you know, Pluto's a planet, as far as I'm concerned, so Pluto's a planet. That's what we're going to work with. So the planets. What you have to remember when you're looking at the planets and their position in the sky, which is the map of where all the planets are in the sky. Yes, stupid scientists, what do they know? A map of all the planets in the sky. If you imagine this big 3D ball, imagine a globe, like one of those spinny globes you have in the library, right? You've got a spinny globe, and at different points you've got all these little planets, and the sun, and the moon, and you've got this band that goes around telling you what star sign everything is in, okay? All of that, if you flattened it down so that you are standing in the middle and everything else is flattened down, so that everything that's in Scorpio is in Scorpio in one place, on one plane, rather than one being up here and one there and one down there. They're all squashed together. That flat plane on a piece of paper is your astrological chart. So your astrological chart tells you where all your planets are, what star sign they're in. It also tells you what house they're in. The sky is divided in different ways into 12 around the signs. We haven't done houses yet, don't worry about those just yet. And basically that's your entire chart. You've got you in the middle, which is your centre point. you've got a space in the middle that is your houses. You can ignore that for now. And then around the outside, you've got your 12 signs, and each planet or luminary is at a specific thing. And they've all got 2 numbers next to them. The 2 numbers are the degrees and minutes that they are on the circle. And the point 0 on the circle is your ascendant. So if your ascendant is there, that's 0 degrees. Okay? We always start with the ascendant on the left, because it's easier to read, gives structure, and it reads anti-clockwise. Which sounds weird, but the planets are going that way, so you read it that way. Okay, so it starts on the left, comes towards you to 180, and all the way up over the top to 360. Okay? For anyone who hasn't seen a star chart or an astrological chart, I'm just going to grab mine very quickly off here. Oh, I've got Brenda's here. Can we use yours, Brenda? This is actually not your natal chart. It's, oh no, that's actually, I don't want to use that anyway. It's not a natal chart. Hang on. Let's get mine. One chart. Me. There we go, because I don't mind using mine. Okay, so that's what a oh, for goodness sake. Is Mercury still retrograde? Feels like it some days. That's what a star chart looks like, okay? There are various apps that you can do this on. There are free charts, there are free apps. Do not pay for anything, okay? I have only just purchased an app. Yeah, it's all your own fault now. Mercury's finished. There are various places to get astrological information. Do not pay for anything. I'm, like I say, 15 years and I've only just purchased an app. You don't need it. You can get everything online. You can get ephemeris, you can get printouts, you can get your astrology charts, everything. I will put links at the end of the session below the information so you can go off and get your own chart if you don't already have it. I know everybody who's here does. But if you look at your chart, I'm assuming you've got it in front of you. If you haven't, pause the video, go get your chart from the links, print it out, have it in front of you. I will make sure that you have the information to get it to print out so that it looks the same as mine. So your ascendant is position 0 on the left. So if you look at your chart, moving around from the ascendant downwards to 180, you've got 6 signs, and then coming across the top, you've got 6 signs. On the left, you have your ascendant, the sign that is rising on the horizon when you were born. So on the right, you have, anyone? The descendant, right, which is the sign that was going down over the horizon you were born. Remember, it's this big can thing in the sky that's going round like this, so one was coming up, the other was going down. Your ascendant, the one is coming up. So many pop quizzes. Well, I'm only doing the pop quizzes today because I know that the 3 of you who are in here at the moment have all done it before. If it was completely new to everybody, I wouldn't. But, you know, it's good to test you and make sure that you vaguely remember that we did this a year ago. So the planet coming up over the horizon is how you are seen in the world. Or the sign, rather, coming up over the horizon, and any planets that are next to it. Now, I'll give you a copy of my birth chart so you can have a look at it. But if you have a look at my birth chart, there is, on the ascendant, it's in Sagittarius. But at 28 degrees, which is, each segment is 30 degrees, so it's right up here, and here's the ascendant. So it's right next to each other. We call that conjunct. They are conjunct because they're together. So my Sagittarius, my Jupiter, is sitting on my ascendant in Sagittarius. So I have Jupiter conjunct the ascendant in Sag. That's a big thing. We'll come on to it later. On the descendant, that is to do with how you relate to people. Okay? So that's your relationship line. The first one is how you appear to others, how, in some ways, how they relate to you, because how they relate to you will be dependent on how they see you. And then the other side is how you relate to others, what you look for in relationships, how you deal with people, how you communicate with people, and so on. Mine has no planets whatsoever, and it's in Gemini. Again, this will be easier to see when you've got it in front of you. Those of you who've got your own, I assume you're looking at your own. So, Ina and Brenda, I know you know your ascendants. Yours Gemini and Leo, so what's your descendant? And how would you know what it was if you didn't have your chart in front of you? No, the sign on the descendant, Ina, not the planets. You may not have any planets. Aquarius, right. And how would you know it was Aquarius even if you didn't have your chart in front of you? You don't know what yours is. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, Brenda, because you know what your ascendant is, don't you? Your ascendant's in Gemini. Well, if my descendant is in Gemini and my ascendant is in Sagittarius, straight away you know that yours must be, if your ascendant is in Gemini, then your descendant must be in Sagittarius. So how are we figuring that out? Counting from Scorpio, yeah, 6, exactly. It's 6 across, it's the one directly opposite. It's the sign in direct opposition. So Leo is opposite Aquarius. So Ina is ascendant Aquarius, ascendant Leo, descendant Aquarius. Brenda is rising sign Gemini, descending sign Sagittarius. Leo. Yeah, which is which? Your ascendant and your descendant. You've got a Leo ascendant, right, so your descendant, ascendant coming up is Leo, so the sign directly opposite is Aquarius. When I say directly opposite, I mean when you draw out the circle, like literally, if you drew a circle and you divided it into 12, yeah, that's right, yeah. It's right, you know, it's a combination of the way I speak and the fact that I can't say those two words very well, and the fact that you're a different language. It just creates a little bit of a confusion with the ask and the disc, because it sounds the same over the internet. But you've got it right, yes, that's exactly right. So, if you drew a chart, you know, like the Wheel of the Year, and you put all the star signs around it in order, starting with Aries. Aries is the first sign. I can't do it from Aries, I can only do it from Capricorn. Oh, you were counting from your sun sign. No, it's directly opposite. Because it's the horizon on both sides, so it's directly opposite. So you count from the rising sign on that was coming up over the horizon, not your sun sign. Your sun sign could be anywhere. It's these two. Whichever one is directly opposite on the wheel is the one you've got. So it works kind of like colour, red, green, blue, orange, yellow, purple. Same thing. Leo, Aquarius, Sag, Gemini, Gemini, Sag. Yeah? It's important to know the order of the signs because they always follow the same order. Now, I can't do it. Back in the day, this is going to be entertaining, my UK girls, do you remember Russell? Can't remember his name. Russell somebody, the astrologer. He used to have a star sign thing on a Saturday night for about 6 months. It was terrible. But the tune, the intro tune, was really catchy. And it's Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpius, and Sagittarius! And I'm not doing that again. But because of that, I cannot now do it from Aries. But Aries is the first sign. So if you need a little tune to learn, you can learn that little tune. But just remember that Capricorn Aquarius actually comes at the end. Capricorn Aquarius Pisces come at the end. It actually starts with Aquarius, Aries. Aries is the first sign. Because of course they are. They're the leaders. Anyway. So, your sun sign. Your ascendant. Your descendant. Your ascendant is how other people see you or how they relate to you or how you appear to others. Your descendant is how other people appear to you, how you treat them, how you relate to them, how you get on with them, your relationships, and so on. Your sun sign, which is the sign that your sun is sitting in, and you can see on mine. This is opposite, the wrong way round. I need to fix that. There's my sun. Okay, that one there. Remember, the soul with the id in the middle. That's me. That's who you really are. I'm an Aquarian. Now, I said we'd come back to my Jupiter-Sag thing. Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. When you think of Jupiter, I mean, we're going to go into these in depth. Don't worry about that. We're going to do all the myths and everything. It's going to be fun. But when you think of Jupiter, think of the ghost of Christmas present. The big fat jolly man who likes to get drunk and have a good time. That's Jupiter. He also shagged a lot and got a lot of people pregnant. I don't know how Juno put up with him, to be honest. But king of the gods, in charge, biggest planet, very gregarious, very over the top, very over optimistic. Anything over is Jupiter. Over optimistic, over indulging, overly affectionate, overly loud, loves to party. You know, those kind of people is what Jupiter signifies. Now, Sag is the ruled sign of Jupiter, which means that Jupiter is in rulership. Again, we'll do that in more depth later on, but basically every planet rules a sign. And if a sign is in rulership, a planet is in rulership in the sign that it rules, it's a double whammy. So I've got Jupiter being big and gregarious, in its own sign being even bigger and more gregarious. That's how I appear to others. That's how I appear to the other world. That's how other people see me. And, you know, look at me. I'm the size of Jupiter. I look like Jupiter. I'm not the kind of person who can walk into a room and nobody notices. Everybody notices. Even if I do it quietly, people notice. I am the person that everybody looks to get the party going. I don't know why. Oh wait, I do. Because I'm the Jupiter in the room. I come across as being very extrovert, very positive, very confident, I'm out here, I'm doing it, look at me. You know, I'm a YouTuber, I'm doing live classes, for goodness sake. Overly confident, overly optimistic. Yes, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's how people see me. I'm the person that, oh, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. Now, you slink into rooms. Yeah, you would, because you're a Gemini. Geminis like to sidle in and weigh everybody up and figure out who's going to do what and who they want to talk to. You're exactly the opposite, in fact. Opposite on the wheel. Your Gemini is very social, happy to get on with just about anybody from the cleaner to the CEO. You can be seen having tea with the cleaner one minute and drinks with the CEO on a Friday night. You know, you can get away with going to a rock club or the ladies' local meet and greet for tea on a Sunday afternoon. You'd fit in anywhere, but you can slide into places and people don't even notice you. I'm completely the opposite. I can't slide in anywhere without people noticing, and I don't fit in anywhere either, because nobody really understands me until they get to know me. They don't really get me. I'm like this big blob in the room that's like, what the hell is that? You know, nobody really knows how to take me when they first meet me. Because Jupiter, brash, gonna speak my mind, gonna say what I think, you know, I'm there. And that's how I come across to people. However, how I really am, Sun in Aquarius. I'm actually a loner and an introvert who likes peace and quiet, who likes to be left alone, love humanity, not big on people, you know? When you look at, just as an example, the personality, I'm not talking about the teaching or anything like that, but the personality of the kind of people who do teaching, they tend on the whole to be either very me-centred, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's perfectly okay to be me-centred if you know what you're doing. I'll use Susie as an example, because she's a very good example of it. Listen in her things to, because I know a lot of you have done her classes as well, but listen how often she says, I'm the best, or I'm the only one, or I was the first, or I do this, I do that, I'm the one who can show you this better than anybody else. That's not her ego, that's her Leo talking. She's a Leo. She believes that. And in a lot of cases, she may well be right. In some cases, she'll be wrong, but it doesn't matter, that's what she believes. It's a different type of confidence. That Leo confidence comes from, I know my stuff, and I can do this. And she does know her stuff, and she can do it. But she's not above telling you either. Whereas Jupiter confidence is just, oh, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. It's fine, just do it. It'll be fine. Inside, we may be going, I've no idea what's going on. But, you know, we tend to be, people who are seen as Jupiter types or Sagittarius types tend to be the go-to people. Because when everybody else could do it, or, you know, your Leos might say, yes, I can do that, or no, I don't do that. If it's not in their job description, they're not doing it, because it's not them. That's not what they do. I is here. That is someone else's job. Whereas a Jupiter type will be, yeah, I can do that. Even if they don't know what they're doing, they'll just go, yeah, I can do that. Because they figure they can wing it. They can work it out. You know. yes, at the moment, I'm a little, I suppose you could say stressed. Because I'm having to juggle so many things, and I'm sorting the site, and I'm trying to get payments sorted, and money's a bit tight, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and everything else. And yes, lots of things are we're juggling a lot of balls, basically. Which is not my favourite place to be. I don't like juggling balls. I like to just throw them for the dog and let her play with them. But my Jupiter side is not getting me all stressed and anxious and like, oh God, I'm not having a panic attack about it. I'm just getting on with what needs to be done, because my Jupiter is just going, it'll be fine, it'll work out, don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine in the end, and if it's not fine, it's not the end. Jupiter's full of platitudes. Everything Jupiter says you can put on a cushion. Whereas Leo, it's more me-centred. I know what I can do, and I know I can do this, and I'm going to tell you that I can do it so that you know as well. Who relates to that? Now, the interesting thing is, Ina is a Leo ascendant. So sometimes, as a student, Ina comes across like that. Yeah, I've done this before. I can do this. I can learn this. I've done something similar before. You quite often say it, actually, Ina. Oh yeah, I've looked at this before. I've heard about this before. Yeah, it's always something that you've got in your arsenal that you've already had a look at, that you will really jump into. But if it's something completely new, you're a little bit more reserved. You have a problem delegating, yeah, because you're the one who can do everything better. Or as Foxy says, I'm the one who can do everything right. If I leave it to somebody else, they won't do it the way I do. And the way I do it is right, therefore the way everybody else does it is wrong. But that's mostly how you come across to others. And it may well be how you work with others, because sometimes your ascendant is a facade of work, your work face, if you like. Look, my fingers are black where I redid my hair. I just noticed that. So it's same for me. My work face is Jupiter. Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. If you make a mistake, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll work itself out. Just cover over it or something. Run with it. Oh, you made a mess. No, that's all right. Just collage over the front. You'll be fine. That's my whole attitude. But when I'm left to my own devices, when it's just me, and I don't have to deal with other people or the world or other things going on, I'm an Aquarian. I don't want to be around people. I don't like people. Humanity I like. People, not so much. I'd really rather be on my own, reading a book, or researching something, or, Yeah, your work face is completely different. Exactly. Your work face is the one that, I know what I can do, I'm in charge, I've got it, I'm not going to delegate it, because that's my job, and I know how to do it. But what's your sun sign? I can't remember what your sun sign is. What's your sun? Are you Scorpio? Yeah. Well, Scorpio, the creature from the deep, known for its dark side, possibly the darkest sign of the zodiac, actually, because Scorpio is one of those types of people. They are very heavy, yes. In fact, saying very heavy on Scorpio, yes, Scorpios are very heavy, very serious. That doesn't mean they don't know how to go have a good time, but they know how to have a good time and still psychoanalyse you at the same time. And while they're chatting to you about how the day went and everything else, they're also cataloguing all the things that they've noticed about you that is, oh, yeah, but I've also noticed that you've bitten all your nails down over the weekend, so that means you're stressed. And they will dig and dig and dig and dig and dig until they find out why. Not with strangers, generally, although they do tend to be a bit nosy. In a kind of superficial way. They kind of be the ones who will ask the blunt questions. But with one-to-ones and people they know, they tend to be very, there's something going on here, must know the answer, must find out. And Scorpios are deep. Aquarians, we're not deep. I'm sorry, Aquarius, but it's true. We're not deep. Scratch the surface and all you get is more surface. Everything you see is everything you get. Unless we've got something else going on in our chart that gives us a bit more depth, what you see is what you get with Aquarius. This is it. This is us. You don't get any nasty surprises with Aquarius. But Scorpio, oh, you know that sting in the tail? Yeah. They look lovely, but they can give you a really nasty bite. They have lots of layers, and when you think you've got to the bottom of all the layers of the Scorpio that you're getting to know, you'll reach the basement and you'll find that there's a whole other level beneath that. And not only is it a whole other level, it's a whole underground set of terrain that's probably bigger than the house on top. Have you ever watched, what's it called? House in the Woods, is it? The Joss Whedon one, where they go in the cabin in the woods. A little wood shack in the middle of nowhere. And they find out about all these crazy locked rooms and passages and secret passages and stuff. And they're like, ooh, that's weird for a cabin in the woods. And then they find a basement. And they're like, oh, that's weird. And then they're like, oh, the basement's got a door coming off it. Huh, that's weird. And then they find out that beneath the basement, there's a whole labyrinth of stuff. And in the whole labyrinth of stuff is all these people doing stuff. And I'm not going to tell you about it because spoilers. Riversong is an aquarium, by the way. Spoilers. Okay? If I told you what was in the labyrinth, that would spoil the whole movie. Because it's the biggest twist I've ever seen in a movie, and I didn't get it. It's one of the few movies that I didn't get the twist ending to. I did not see it coming. I should have seen it coming because it was Joss Whedon. But never mind. But yeah, Scorpio, you dig, you think you've hit bedrock, what you've actually found is a fake wall. And underneath that, there will be a whole other thing with tunnels and rabbit warrens. Scorpios are a bit scary. They can be scary. They come across as scary sometimes because they are so intense. Oh, Brenda, we were just going to do you. Oh, okay, well, I'll do Aries anyway because we've already talked about everybody else's star sign. Oh, I can't believe you have to go. Bye, Brenda. Thank you for joining us. Tune back in at the, what are we on, 38-minute mark to get yours. So Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is the ram. Head down. Here we go. Another type of optimism. Over-optimistic. Oh, yeah, sure, we can do that. Come on. Come on, everybody. Aries' favourite saying. Come on, everyone. Follow me. I know where I'm going. We'll figure it out. Aries is both the leader and the cheerleader of the entire zodiac. They will keep everybody going. They will get everybody started. And if nobody else gets up and going and started, they'll do it on their own. They don't care. They're quite happy to do things on their own as well, as long as they're doing something. As long as they're doing, they're happy. They are action. They are everything to do with, I'm going to be the first. Not because I want to be the first, but because it's about winning. It's not about playing the game for Aries, it's about winning. Whereas for Leo, another fire sign, it's not about winning, it's about being the star player. And for Sagittarius, the other fire sign, or another fire sign, it's about playing the game. Sagittarius, like Jupiter, are the party animals. Never met a Sagittarian who didn't want to party. And their idea of party is extremely broad. You can have a party with a Sagittarius that involves just you and Netflix and a large bottle of wine, or you can have a party with Sagittarius that involves 3,000 people at a festival. They have no boundaries when it comes to socialising. Because they're Jupiter. It'll be fun. Just go on. Just have a go. Sagittarius is the have a go. Aries is the, yeah, we can do it. Come on, follow me. I'll show you. So, I know we're jumping around a little bit, but we're going to cover everything, don't worry. Sun signs often relate to the fire signs as well. So, if you have a sun, which rules Leo, a fire sign, in a fire sign, if you have Sun in Leo, the Sun is in rulership of Leo because it rules Leo, just like Jupiter is in rulership in Sag because it rules Sag. If you have another fire sign as your Sun, then your Sun, being a fire sign, will enhance that. So you'll get kind of a second in command kind of thing. It's not the ruling fire sign, but it is a fire sign. So it will be hyped up a bit, but not as much as if it was in rulership. When you have the exact opposite, so a sun in a water sign, water kills fire, okay? Air whips fire up, earth tempers fire and keeps it burning, or fuels it, because trees are earth. Water kills fire. Water is the opposite of fire. So if you've got Sun, a fire symbol, in a water sign, you are far more likely to be a very sedate kind of person. A much more laid back, chilled, calm, easygoing kind of person. Like a Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpios are the observers. Scorpios like nothing more than to go to a roaring party and sit in the corner and watch everyone. Aquarians don't like parties. We're not big party goers. We'd rather be at home on our own. If we have to socialise, we'd rather be in a coffee shop with one person. Whereas Scorpios are actually quite sociable, very much like Leos and Sagittarians, but they like to be, it's not that they think they're above everybody, it's just that they're kind of aloof. They don't see themselves as part of the crowd. When they talk about people watching, they mean everybody else, because I'm not like that, I'm different. Yeah, sitting in a corner watching everybody else. People watching is Scorpio's favourite pastime. Being amongst people on their own is probably Aquarius's favourite pastime. Being in a crowd, but just being on their own and not being anything to do with the crowd, is probably our favourite pastime. Sitting in a busy coffee shop, doing our own thing, reading a book, not talking to anybody else. Travelling, but on our own, in a quiet compartment where everything is organised and we know where everything is and not with everybody else because other people are drama. We are the kind of people who will go out to eat in a restaurant on our own to enjoy the food because we like the atmosphere of a restaurant and we like the food, but we don't want to be with other people. Scorpio will sit on a table on its own watching other people. It's a game. Everything's a game to Scorpio. It's all about scoring points. They've already won. There's a really good quote, actually. It's a Terry Pratchett quote. I think it's from Good Omens. And it's something about sitting... It was talking to this particular person, was like sitting in a dark room, playing poker with someone who had all the cards already and cheated all the time. That's Scorpio. everything's a game. And it's a very strategic game. Everything's chess to a Scorpio. And it's not about one-upmanship or anything like that. It's just to amuse themselves. It's how they entertain themselves. It's how they keep themselves busy. Yeah, Yuna's agreeing with me, so she knows. So, other signs we've talked about. Gemini. Gemini's easygoing. Very much like Sagittarians. Like to socialise, like to get on with other people. Where Sagittarius will just dive in and be like, let's get the party started. Gemini is a little bit more selective. They will skirt around the party until they find their tribe. Or they find the tribe that they want to be with. And quite often, Gemini is the one who is left at the end of the night, eking the party out with a few interesting select few, having a lock-in after hours. You know, I have several Gemini friends. For some reason, a lot of my friends are Geminis born on the 5th, 6th or 7th of June. I don't know why. There's got to be a reason for it. But I just get on really well with Geminis that were born at that time. And all of them are the kind of people who would rather spend money in a bar buying a round of drinks for absolutely everybody all the time for the whole night than sit there on their own. A friend of mine used to often say to me, come on, come with me, I'll pay. And I'm like, you don't need to pay, I can afford it, I'll come with you, but I can afford it. And she'd be like, no, I'll pay, it's fine. I'd rather pay for somebody else to come with me than go on my own. Because if she had to go on her own, she wouldn't go, she wouldn't do anything. She'd stay at home, and then she'd be bored. So, Gemini's are social in a different way. Aquarius, kind of social, but more in a technological way. We love online. Online is a godsend for Aquarians because we can be really sociable without actually having to deal with people. You know, I don't have to deal with people. They're all several thousand miles away on the other side of a computer screen. You know, it's always at a distance. It's great. Love it. Love the internet. Not surprisingly, Aquarius ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the god of technology, and he was one of the first new planets. The original ruler of Uranus is Saturn. Saturn is also very Aquarian. We have a big sense of getting the work done. We're not afraid of hard work. We never have been. We'd rather not have to do the hard work, but if we have to do hard work, we're not going to sit and complain about it. We'll just get on with it until it's done, and then we're like, yay, that's over. Party time! Or playtime! So Saturn also rules Capricorn. And Capricorn is like the less fun version of Aquarius. They're all about duty. They're all about getting things done, getting things sorted. If you need something finishing, Capricorn is your person. Because they are going to get it done because that is their job. It's their duty. And they will not be happy until it's finished. Nothing makes a Capricorn happier than finishing something. Whereas Aquarians, we like to start new stuff all the time. Not very good at finishing things. Lots of ideas, air sign, mental energy, lots of, oh, we could do this, oh, we could do that. Ooh. This is where we get on with Geminis. Geminis are also air signs, and they have lots of fun ideas. Good at starting things, good at having ideas, good at getting started, creating. But we get bored so easily. Capricorns don't get bored. I don't get bored because I'm always busy. Capricorns just don't get bored with stuff. They're not happy until the thing is finished. When the thing is finished, they are jubilant. It's that sense of duty. And Saturn was the authoritarian. He was the god of agriculture and business. And he's also he's considered the kind of shoulder to the grindstone kind of god. You know, anything that comes through Saturn, you're going to have to work for. I have, we're not talking about houses just yet, but there is a house related to creativity. I have Saturn in my creative house. I've had to work for everything I do. I was not born out of the womb talented, being able to draw, going, yay, I can do this. My sister was, not me. I had to work for it. I still have to work for it. I still find some things difficult, and I have to work on them and work on them and work on them until they're done. What's the other air sign? Who have we missed? Aries, Gemini, Libra. Libra is very balanced. They're air sign, but they're the most earthy of air signs, I guess you could say. They are very home oriented, but very home as in, if you think of Taurus, the home body, we talked about Taurus the other day. Taurus, earthy, solid, the foundation you build your home upon, you know. Your Taurus mum is going to be the one that has dinner on the table when everybody gets home, that kind of stuff. Your Libra mum is going to be the one that insists everybody's sat around the table for dinner and all the phones are off. Phones will be in the other room, it's family time. They want to make sure everybody's treated the same. They want to make sure everything is fair. Everybody gets their say. Everybody gets their time to shine. You know? A Libra mum would never miss a football game. It's not in their nature. Whereas a Taurus mum would never let you have a dirty football kit. Your kit is always going to be clean. Whenever you need it, it's always going to be ready to go. Your Libra mum will always be at the game. Your Gemini mum will probably be one of the football coaches. Or at least on the cheerleading squad or something, you know. They're that kind of people. They're very sociable, very energetic kind of, oh yeah, I'll do a bit of that. So that's your 3 fire, Aries, Taurus, Sagittarius. Your 3 air, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Your water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Now I've left those for a moment because we've also got, we've done Taurus, we've done Capricorn, the other earth sign is Virgo. Taurus and Virgo, both ruled by Venus. One is Venus in her love aspect, and one is Venus in her monetary aspect, I suppose you could call it. So if you've got Venus in Taurus, then guess what? Your Venus is in rulership. The opposite of Earth, down-to-earth people, flighty people. Earth, air. My sister's a Virgo. Me and my sister get on like a house on fire. By which I mean, somebody poured in some petrol, lit a match and ran like hell. We're this close, me and my sister, this close. It's got better as we've aged and we've both mellowed, but we just don't see eye to eye at all. We don't get on. Just, it's... they say oil and water, air and earth. No. Air and earth just don't mix very well. And my mum's a Taurus as well, so that doesn't help. So that's your 3 earth signs. Earth, rock, down to earth. But even if you don't get on with them, your brother's a Virgo too, yeah, you can probably relate then. Although I do find, I don't know if it's just me or in general, but I find boy Virgos easier to get on with than girl Virgos. But that could just be because I've got a sister Virgo. It might be the opposite for you. But they're very reliable, Virgos. If they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. They will do it. They might not do it when you want them to do it, but they will do it. Capricorn, if they say they will do something, not only will they do it, they will tell you when they're going to do it, and it will be finished 5 minutes ahead of time. And when you say, have you finished such and such, they'll go, oh, I've been waiting for you. I've just finished it. Sat there. It's ready. Because they're reliable. They can be leaned on. They are rocks. Taurus, emotional rocks. It's very rare that you meet a Taurus who is... Scorpios and Geminis and Aquarians are very kind of fickle. We can be a different person every time you meet us. Taurus don't really have... It's not that they don't have emotions, they just don't show them. They always come across as the same person every time you meet them. They're never any different. They're not going to be the ones who go to a party and have too much to drink and end up crying on the stairs. They're going to be the sober one who's sitting with the one who's crying on the stairs and helping them get home and looking after them, because that's what they do. They're mothery types. They're not going to be the ones having the ideas. They're going to be the ones making sure that everybody knows what they need to do and has a list of all their stuff and chores and helping organise. So it's each one is a different kind of energy. When we come to do some more on quadruplicities, you'll see why. Although I don't think we're going to get time to do it today. So your three water signs. Scorpio, the people watchers. Cancer, the hermit crabs. Cancers have a reputation for being very soft, very shy, very easily hurt, which is all true, but they're not as soft as they come across. They're just very easygoing. It's very rare to get a Cancer who will suddenly lose their temper. They more kind of come to the boil over a series of time. Scorpio is pretty much always hot water. It's always dangerous to put your hand in there. Cancer, they come to a very, very, very slow, gentle rolling boil. That's about as angry as they get. Pisces, ooh! Pisces get angry, boy do you know it. It's like having a scalding pan of water thrown in your face. Boy do you know if a Pisces gets angry with you. It is literally like a tidal wave coming at you. And they just will not stop. Verbally, they are able to put people in their place. My dad is a Pisces. Everybody has those parents that they would say, don't do that. And the first couple of times you ignored them, and then the final time they said it properly, and you're okay, they're serious now. No, my dad said, don't do that, and you knew he meant it the first time. He never gave you a warning. It was always, no, stop now. And you knew not to push the boundaries because you could tell that he was deadly serious. And that's how Pisces tend to be. They say what they mean. They're the kind of... Water is all about emotions. If Scorpio is the deep, dark, black lagoon of hidden emotions and boiling passions, Cancer is the I wear my heart on my sleeve. You always, with a Cancer, you always know what charity they support. They're nearly always pet lovers, or at least animal lovers, or they have lots of kids because they love little things. Pisces care more about spirituality and who people are. They care more about being morally clean, if you like, to use a water metaphor. It's about doing right by yourself. Not about being selfish, but about encompassing everything. You know, Libra's sense of fairness and justice, Taurus's sense of being dependable, Capricorn's sense of follow-through, Aquarius' sense of getting ideas, Sagittarius' sense of being able to let go and have fun, Gemini's sense of being able to just get on with people and talk to people and travel and learn new stuff and find it amazing. All of that comes together at the end of the zodiac with Pisces. Now, there is a theory, I can't remember where it comes from, but it's to do with it's based on the Buddhist theory of reincarnation, that a soul comes back again and again. And depending on where you are in your cycle, depends what sign you came back as. So as an Aquarian, I'm at the end of my cycle, and I will come back in the next incarnation as Pisces, because at that point I will have learned everything I need to know and I will be putting it in practice. If you're an Aries, you're at the start of your journey, like the Fool. And you have to go through a lifetime of learning how to be a leader and know who you are and what you are, and, you know, learning how to just be. Then you move on to Taurus, learning how to have, and so on. There is a whole list of these. I am Aries, I have Taurus, Gemini, I say, or I think, I can't remember all of them. I know Aquarius is I know, because of course I do. Aquarius know everything. The trouble is, and I know my fellow Aquarians will relate to this, and everybody who's not an Aquarian will relate to it in a way of, oh, I know somebody like that. We tend to be right. Therefore, we tend to assume that we're right. And the more we tend to assume that we're right, the more we're proven right, so the more we tend to assume that we're right. It's like a vicious cycle. Aquarius, as a young Aquarian, I always came off as very pretentious. Oh, she knows everything. The trouble was that I did know everything. Not everything, you know, but I did know, and therefore I wasn't technically being pretentious. I came across as pretentious, but actually I did know. It's kind of a double thing. It's one of those double standard things that you can't, like with Scorpio. Scorpio loves people, but Scorpio doesn't want to be around people. Scorpio just wants to watch people. Scorpio is fascinated by people in the same way that scientists are fascinated by anthills. They're more fascinated in the relationships between people and how people react to each other and what happens if, put in a scenario, than they are about getting to know one person. One person is boring. One person and how they relate to everybody else around them and what happens if somebody new comes into the mix, that's fascinating. That's catnip to a Scorpio. So I think we've covered all the signs in general. Again, elementally, Earth, the rocks, the stable ones, who are sometimes a bit too stable, sometimes a bit too steady, sometimes a bit too stubborn. Air, the thinkers, the daydreamers, the feet in the clouds kind of people, head in the clouds kind of people. Not particularly reliable, often forget things, tend to encapsulate the mad scientist ethos of, oh, well, I meant to. Didn't I do that? Sorry. Fairly sure Doctor Who was an Aquarian, at least in the David Tennant days, he was an Aquarian. Lots of things going on in his head. Tend to be very chatty. Really? Chatty? Us? No. Fire signs. Action. Fire is doers. Fire's lead the way. There she goes. Let's go get 'em. Fire is active. Fire both creates and destroys. Fire is your active physically active role. And water is not your body, but your feelings, your internal, your soul, your spirit, your emotions, how you feel, how you relate to things. The one luminary that we didn't cover, and this is why I got to water last, was the moon. The sun, the ascendant, is how other people relate to you, how you are seen to others, how you appear in the world. Your descendant, how you relate to other people, how you see other people and how you experience relationships. Your sun, how you really are, what you're really about. My Aquarian sun, it's a foregone conclusion that I'm an eco-freak who likes to recycle stuff. Because of course I am. Of course I'm technological stuff. If your moon sign, your sun sign is fire, what you are, physically, and, but physically, like, what do they call it? The ego and the id? The ego, who you are, the sun. The id, how you feel, how you experience. Moon. Moon is ruled by Cancer, it's a water sign. Fire, water. You're a moon in Cancer. Yeah, me too. The trouble is, moon in Cancer tends to be... Moon in Cancer in general are very nurturing kind of people. The kind of people who they don't like to see a child cry. They don't like to see an animal in pain. They will help with things. They will look after things. You need your plants feeding for a week? Ask a moon in Cancer, because they'll look after them. They don't even have to like plants or be particularly good with plants, but they'll look after them and you can trust them to do it. Your plants will not be dead when you get back. Well, they might if you give them to me. Others first. To a certain extent, yes. More others' feelings first. Pisces is others first. Pisces is the servant. Because by that point you've become spiritual. You've cast off all your worldly things. You've become the one who serves others. The pastor, the preacher, the monk, the, all that kind of stuff. The hierophant. The one who martyrs themselves in service to others because they've achieved everything they need. Cancer is a little bit less serving others and more thinking about the feelings of others. Moon in Cancer doesn't like confrontation. They will confront people if they have to, but they don't like it. They would rather not. They certainly don't like drama. Moon in Cancer does not like drama. We do not do drama. All the internet stuff that's gone on over the years, all the different things that I've seen, that everything's been involved in, and this, that and the other has happened, and there's always drama. There's always people, oh, she said this, now we're all not talking to her, and I don't have anything to do with it. If people start it, I am out of there. I don't, over the years, every time somebody that I've been associated with has started drama, I've walked. Because I'm not interested. That's not what I'm here for. I don't care. I don't care about the local gossip. I don't care about reality TV. I don't care about the drama or who's speaking to who. I just want to make sure that everybody's okay. The most we ever get involved in drama is if our two best friends were married and having a divorce, we would make sure that they were both okay emotionally. We would be available for both of them. We wouldn't take sides, but we'd make sure they were both okay. And that's as far as it goes with that kind of thing, But because I'm a Aquarian, Aquarians like to distance ourselves from our feelings, so my moon in Cancer is not something that I really have a lot to do with. even to the point where I don't really do relationships anymore because I can't be arsed. It's too much drama. It's too much hassle. If something comes along, that's great, but I'm not going out looking for anything because I'm quite happy the way I am. I just want to get on with what I do and not have the drama. I don't have time for it. I'm not interested in it. You know, I'd rather have a lot of work to do. If I'm honest, that's just the way I am. And I've always been like that. All the relationships that I've had have been very distant. Not literally distant, but very, you know, with people who are as equally unattached as me. I'm not the kind of curl up on the sofa and cuddle with people sort of thing. I'm not that kind of person. I'm more like, get off me! What are you doing? I'm not into PDAs or anything like that, because my Aquarius is like, no, hell no, get off me. Stop pawing at me! You know, that's my Aquarian side. But my moon in Cancer, if you're sick, and I know you're sick, I won't be the one looking after you, but I'll be the one who will ring you up and ask you if you need anything from the shop, because I'm going shopping later and I don't mind picking you something up if you've run out of Lemsip or whatever, or if you need some milk. Don't come to me for a shoulder to cry on when somebody dies. Like, a friend of mine's father passed away very suddenly. I was not the shoulder to cry on. And we are very, very, very close friends. Nope. Not the shoulder to cry on. For that, she relied on the other person in the group who's a water sign. And a therapist. And, you know, she likes doing that kind of stuff. Not me. I picked up one and got her to the funeral of the other. That was my job. Making sure that people's wants and needs and feelings were taken care of by doing practical stuff to make it happen. That's my role, nearly always. Don't come and cry on my shoulder if somebody dies, but if you need someone to help you organise the funeral, I'm there. That's not a problem, I can do that. So, not all water signs are the same. All, you know, just because, in fact, not all the signs, all the signs are not the same. All the fire signs are not the same. The water signs are not all the same. And the reason for that, very quickly, is because of quadruplicities. So in the same way that there are the elements, 3 signs per element, there are 3 quadruplicities with, guess what, 4 signs in each element, because quadruplicity means a group of 4. Stellar. I don't know who came up with that one, but that was a bit of lazy thinking. It was probably an Aquarian, actually. It was like lazy thinking. Oh, it's a group of 4. What should we call it? Oh, quadruplicity. What does that mean, is a group of 4? That's the kind of thing I'd do. It means group of 4, but it's like, it's Latin. I think it's Greek, actually, but anyway. So the quadruplicities. 4 groups of 3. There are 3: cardinal, fixed, mutable. Cardinal. Cardinal symbols, cardinal signs, cardinal points on a compass. Directions. Action. Doing things. Going to places. Movement. Fixed. Does what it says on the tin. Fixed. I'll be sitting right here, thank you. Hard to change their mind. Often come across as stubborn. This is where the I'm Aquarian so I'm right comes in, because Aquarius is a fixed sign. I'm right. I'm right even when I'm wrong, but I'm very rarely wrong, so I'm always right. You know? Which of course is a very Aquarian fixed thing to say, because those who are not like that would go, yeah, right, of course you are. But, you know, that's how it works. Fixed. Mutable. Mutable is changeable. If something is mutable, it's malleable. It can mould itself to different things. So straight away, you can look at different signs and say which of those three they are. Aquarius, we are stubborn as hell. Don't try and out-stubborn an Aquarius, unless you're a Taurus. Taurus can do that because Taurus is fixed earth. They're nothing, like a mountain that can't be moved. That mountain's not going anywhere. Fixed earth. Fixed air, Aquarius. Fixed air is just stillness. And that's what Aquarius tends to be. Aquarius, in the actual Aquarian sense, is very still. I've been known to sit still for hours on end and just not. I could literally sit and watch paint dry. I'd find it fascinating. Leave it! Maddie, Scooby, leave it! Leave it! Leave it! Good! Leave it! Such good puppies! You're getting so good at that. Well done, Mr. Boo. What a good boy. What a good boy. Similar to Auntie Ina. Auntie Ina's there. There we go. See? What a good boy. Good girl, Maddie. Good girl, too. You are a good girl. Yes, well done. Very good. I'm going to train them not to bark at absolutely everything that happens. So, they're getting better. Oh, Betty rubs for Miss Maddie, look! She'll take that all day. Scooby likes his nose rubbed, but no, Maddie likes the belly rubs. Fixed, yes. Fixed water. That's a strange one. What's fixed water? What would you think of if you thought fixed water? Solid water is ice. Coldness. Solid fire. Fixed fire. We're talking red hot pokers. Right? See, so you can start to figure out which sign is which. Sagittarius, obviously going to be cardinal. If an arrow, a fire arrow pointing towards what you want doesn't signify cardinal, I don't know what does. Cardinal's easy to remember because it's red. So you just think of arrows going to places. Cardinal points on a compass. Direction. Journey. Purpose is a good way of putting it. So from each one, you can work out what's that one like. Gemini. Gemini, air, gets on with everybody. Well, if you can get on with everybody, you're mutable, aren't you? Get on with everyone. So you can probably work those out. We're going to look at quadruplicities in more detail because it's quite an in-depth subject, but you know, I think that's more than enough of an overview for today, just to recap all the signs, the elements, and a brief look at the quadruplicities. We have done quadruplicities before. I've got a chart that I will try and find that gives you all these different things written up, and it's a little bit easier to follow. But more importantly, get your chart and look at your luminaries, your ascendant and descendant, and just generally, have you got any planets that are in rulership? You know, do you have Mars in Aries like me? I've got so many planets in rulership. I've got Moon in Cancer, Jupiter in Sag, Mars in Aries. Crazy. Lots and lots of rulership planets. Don't have any planets that are in detriment. That is where they're in the opposite. So Jupiter as a fire sign if he was in what's he in detriment in? No, fall, sorry, is the next one. Fall in Scorpio, I think. I can't remember. I'm not very good with detriments yet. I'm better with rulerships. I don't really use detriments. I use rulerships more. And it's way down the line for you, so don't worry about it. It's important that you know which planet is ruled by which sign. So that's something you can look up. What signs correspond with which planets? What elements correspond with which signs? What quadruplicities are each one? And for each one, look at it and say, well, how does this fit? How does this sign fit being mutable and Earth? How could you be mutable Earth? Bearing in mind that it doesn't include water. So something earthy that is easily moved. Study time, yeah. I'm going to put a list of questions and journal prompts and stuff like that for you to have a play with, because I know you like, you know, Cody said we need a list. Give us a list. Tracy says the same, give me a list. I don't necessarily need to follow the list, but I want a list. So you will have a list. We'll go up tomorrow with the edited version of the video. Lava. Yeah. Lava could be a moving earth. Although lava is molten earth. So it's kind of a fiery version of earth. Lava might be better as fixed fire. That might be more like fixed fire. Although hot metal would be very fixed fire. So, you know, there's no it's no set in stone thing. Whatever comes to you that you think, oh yeah, well, molten earth, molten rock, that's lava. Moves very slowly, quite hot and fiery, gets things done, but does it in a very slow way. Unless they're angry, and then whoosh! I don't know. Does that sound like Capricorn to you? Mutable Earth. So yeah, think of, you know, different ways that you could describe, you know, frozen water, solid water, or earthy type of water, a fixed water, definitely ice. A mutable water that's changeable and can, you know, meander and, you know, not too fast, not too slow, not too eruptive, not too this, not too that, very even, calm stream, calm river, and so on. I'm not going to give them all to you because you can look them up. But I will give you a guide of all of them. I've got several, like I say, several just mini charts and examples of images that will be helpful for you to put in your journals should you want to look up certain things. But it's good to look up certain things as well and make sure that you understand why things like this. Because once you can figure out the element of something and the quadruplicity, you know what that is going to be like. So if you say mutable air, think of a windy day. What's a windy day like? Well, it's all over the bloody place, isn't it? Hello, Gemini. Oh, you got the Believe book. Cool. Yeah, I've got some, I figured out some affiliate links for Amazon. They've reinstated affiliate widgets, finally. So I'm going to put links to, like, books and journals and stuff like that I recommend. So if you want to look them up, it will be easy to find them. If you happen to purchase them on Amazon UK, I get a little bit of a handout from them. It doesn't cost you anything. So I'll be able to put up, you know, when I mention stuff, like I did the other day, I actually posted in the forum, in the Ning forum, the Signs and Symbols book and the video review that I did and a link to it, so it's easy to find. So I will make sure I do that going forward. I love those little Believe books. Have you got the little one or the big one? Little or big, lined or unlined, gold or silver, plain. Yeah, and use the links, great. Okay, so site updates. I've left this till the end because I'm going to probably do this separately. Here's what the plan is. Carolyn and I had a meeting this morning, our first team meeting, yay. The little one. Yeah. Oh, it was expensive on eBay. Crikey. Oh, because you couldn't find anyone who'd send it to the Netherlands. I told you, you should have just asked me and I'd have got you one and sent it to you. Site updates. Site updates. We are going to move all of the When Frogs Sing 2018 content for the $15 and up patrons to Ning. You can continue paying on Patreon if you wish. That's not a problem. I know some people prefer it for a payment system, and that's fine. But I am tired of all the technical difficulties. I am tired of not being able to get the videos to work. I don't have the time to mess about with them anymore. I've been after them for several months about this now, and every day I'm getting more and more people saying I can't get into any of the videos. So, $15 and above, get your little botties over to Ning when you get an email off Carolyn, and sign up, and you'll be put in the When Frogs Sing 2018 group. If you want to pay on Ning, $15 and above, you can. When you sign up to Ning, don't bother contacting Carolyn, just go straight to the When Frogs Sing 2018, sign up for the monthly thing. You can sign up $15 or the equivalent in pounds or euros. So you don't even have to pay American dollars if you don't want to. Everybody who is currently a patron, so if you're watching this and you're a patron in August, hello, of When Frogs Sing 2018, congratulations, you're getting an upgrade. Because you've had several months now where you haven't been able to watch videos on and off. So as a reward for your patience and to say thank you very much for hanging in there, you are welcome to come over to Ning as well, and you'll be added to the When Frogs Sing 2018 group. You can continue paying however much you pay. If you pay less than $15, that's fine. You can do it on the donation page on the front. Or you can continue paying through Patreon, whichever. But all content from now on will be going on Ning. I will put the YouTube live sessions, so the links will go on Patreon. So if you want to come to the live sessions, you can be there. And the live sessions will stay on Patreon. So if you want to watch them after the fact, you can still do that. But, so you're not getting anything less over on Patreon, you're still getting the full class. Quiet now, you two. You're still getting the full class. I will still add the PDFs, I will add the extra links and stuff after the class. It's just that I'm not going to be editing the video and putting it up on Vimeo anymore for you because it doesn't work. So if you're watching after the fact, you're back to skipping through the YouTube video till you get to the bit where you want. But I will trim off the ends where we have the beginning and end bits, where it's often not very interesting. Once it's gone through and processing on YouTube, which takes about 3 or 4 hours, excuse me, I will make sure that I trim off the dross at the end, so you don't have to watch that. So yeah, everybody on Patreon, you're getting an upgrade. Doesn't matter how much you're currently paying, you can come over to Ning if you want to and join the When Frogs Sing 2018 group for the rest of the year. Continue paying what you're paying. Do it on Ning or do it on Patreon, I don't care. But if you want the content, you need to come over and join us. There is also free content on Ning, or there will be. We've got a chat lounge where you can talk about stuff. We're building a community where everybody can chat instead of just being able to reply to one video. And that's it. And you can't even upload a picture and say, look what I did. I want people to be able to put, you know, underneath the discussion for this class, if you've done a really fantastic Book of Shadows page and you want to take a photo of it and show us, we'd love to see it. If you want to ask questions and say, well, I came across this, what does this mean? You know, you can do that. That's what I want. I want it to be an active discussion. And we're going to have fun stuff as well. We've got the common rooms. We're based on the Hogwarts system, so you have to know your common room. If you're not in Hogwarts, that's fine, you can be a muggle. The common rooms are for general chit-chat and other activities that you enjoy. So if you want to do knitting and crochet and stitching and stuff, you might want to be in Hufflepuff. I think they're the knitters and crocheters. And herbalists. If you're looking for the library, that's over with Ravenclaw. That would be me. The house system is just a bit of fun. It's just an easy way of segregating people into different types so that you have all got people that you have something in common with to chat to. It's for fun stuff, things you think other people might find fun, off-topic things. We'll have some games, we'll have some house points that you can win at the end of the months. Probably not starting until January because we've got to set it all up and we've got a lot to do. But sometime in the near future... Oh, God. Scooby, stop! Sometime in the near future there will be points and people will be able to allocate their points to their team. You can be in more than one common room, but you can't be in more than one team. Your points only go to one house. But you're welcome to wander into other common rooms. You could be all the common rooms if you want to. And stuff like that. It's going to be fun. Come on over. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We will make sure... Carolyn is going through everybody at the moment. She's getting a list of all current patrons and all current Red Frog Sing 2018 alumni to make sure that you guys are moved over there first and settled by the end of August. So by the time we go live on the 28th. And I would like to say, by the way, thank you, very publicly, thank you, to the very generous person who paid for our first month, or has made a donation for the full payment for our first month on Ning. So we're ready for the 28th. We're just waiting for the funds to clear. As soon as it's there, we're done, the money's there, we can get straight on. We've got the first month sorted. So thank you very, very much to that extremely kind person. I haven't said their name because I don't know if they wanted their name said. But yes, somebody was generous enough to donate the entire amount. We also have 2 more people who have donated a significant amount towards effectively the following month. So we're pretty well set for the next couple of months. And hopefully... once the When Frogs Sing 2019 and the new class go up and people start buying that, because a lot of people buy 2019 in advance or want to sign up monthly or pay in advance or whatever, then we'll be able to get the full year in advance and then just plain sailing till this time next year. So that's what's happening. Carolyn is my admin. Tracy is no longer my admin. Tracy's had to... concentrate on her real job. Carolyn is now my admin. Carolyn and myself are the only people who have access to member information. I just want to put that out there, make sure, because everybody's on this privacy thing. Everything that we do through Ning is covered by Ning terms and conditions, which means only admins have access to anything. So Carolyn has access to admin stuff on Patreon, on the old forum, and on the new forum, which means basically she's got your usernames and email addresses, and that's it. So we will send you, because Patreon notifications are not very reliable, the old forum notifications are virtually non-existent and tend to go to spam even when they do happen, and Ning's notifications, a lot of people turn them off. Just so that we make sure we don't miss anybody, you will get one email from Carolyn or from myself telling you, here's where everything is, here's the links, here's what you need to do to sign up, here's how you access your old classes if you've got them, this is what you need to do. Okay? Because we don't want to spam people, but we also don't want to have anybody who doesn't get the message just because of technology being stupid and not reliable. So what I may do is set up a newsletter. I've got a broadcast system on Ning, so in the future, if I've got really important stuff to tell you, like, you know, if I get sick and I have to tell you and say, I'm sorry, I'm really sick, I won't be around for the week, it's the kind of thing that would be on the broadcast system. Or, you know, sorry, the entire Vimeo is crashed, or something, or if there's a major update, something really important, think of it like a very important newsletter or bulletin, would be a broadcast system. So that's the only things that I would use that for. I'm not a spammer, I don't like sending lots of information out. I'd rather come on here and just tell you here. It's easier. And then people get the information when they're sat down listening, rather than being inundated with emails that they don't really read. So that's the plan. Everybody will be moved over who's in the current class in August, right now, over on to Ning. Quiet! Oh, oi! Maddie, Scooby, stop it. Maddie, Scooby. Hang on. Oh, he's a bugger. He's a bugger. Give it a rest. Yeah. Everybody who's current moved over by the end of August. Everybody who has old classes on the old forum, old alumni, you will still have access to those classes. It's just going to take us a little longer to get there. You still have the old forum until January, and by January we'll have moved everything. Okay? That's it. I think that's it. The most important thing was telling you all that you were going to get an email, because I didn't want anybody to be thinking, oh, no, they're spamming me. We're not. We're just giving you one email to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. And if you don't sign up, then you don't sign up and you don't get your information. That's up to you. Okay? Thanks for joining me. And I will be spending the rest of the evening going through Patreon and changing the Vimeo links back to the YouTube live thing. Or possibly I might just upload the edited video on YouTube. That might be an easier way of doing it, and just relink it. So either way, those of you who've been having trouble accessing Vimeo videos on Patreon, within the next 24 hours or so, starting with the latest video and working backwards, because you only have access to 2 months worth of videos anyway, I will go backwards and we'll get you sorted out with the original chat videos. So you won't have the edited versions, but at least you'll be able to watch them. It's a payoff, right? But if you want the full versions, just come over to Ning. We've got them all over there. Vimeo works fine on Ning. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for joining me, those of you who've been here, and I will see you again very soon. Our next session will be on Saturday, and it will be an arty session. So bring your books of shadows or whatever it is you want to bring with you, and we'll Oh, I know. I could get the information from today's session for that wheel I was talking about and give it all to you so you can do your own version. Ah! How about that? That would be cool, wouldn't it? I like that. Right. See you again soon. Bye.